get dirty! Woo, shit!
Do I look like a baby? Do I have a little sookie in my mouth? Am I wearing a little diaper? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Pokemon fans of the world, you know who it is, and I come at you guys back again once again with a brand new video, and in this video, I present you guys with our newest Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon competitive guide / review, whatever you want to call it. So we are actually going to be revisiting a Pokemon that we have reviewed in Sun and Moon, and that is going to be none other than Decidueye. Now, with the introduction and the release of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Decidueye gained access to some pretty cool toys that definitely can change its functionality in battle, in my opinion anyways. But with all that being said and out of the way, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the basics of Decidueye, that being the typing, abilities, and stats. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so for Decidueye, we take a look at the typing. It is going to be that of Grass and Ghost, and it's a very unique and interesting typing, shared alongside with the likes of Dhelmise, Gourgeist, Trevenant, the list goes on. And then we get to the abilities known as Overgrow, which is going to be its standard ability and also an ability that all grass starter Pokemon will receive. Now, it does have a hidden ability known as Long Reach, and the reason why you're not seeing it in the visual presentation, ladies and gentlemen, is because it's a hidden ability. Get it? Huh? Okay, bad joke. Anyways, what Long Reach does is it's an ability that regardless of whether your moves make contact to the opponent or not, they actually will not make contact, which basically means if you were to go up against a Ferrothorn or any sort of Rocky Helmet user, and you were to use a move that would originally make contact with them, normally it would do damage, it would cause recoil damage if they are packing the likes of Iron Skin, Rough Barbs, and I just got that completely mixed up. Let me try this again. Rough Skin, Iron Barbs, or if they have the item known as Rocky Helmet, well, Long Reach prevents that damage from taking place, so it's actually quite the unique ability, but unfortunately, it's not yet been released, but I'm hoping that it will be released soon enough for all of us to utilize and enjoy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we then get to the stats. Its HP is going to be at a base 78. The attack is going to be a very, very respectable base 107. The defense is going to be at a rather respectable base 75, but the special attack and special defense both are at 100 apiece, and the speed is going to be that of 70. Now, clearly this Pokemon isn't exactly the fastest, but it's not exactly the most frail either, and with its really good Grass Ghost typing, it allows for this Pokemon to take a lot of hits that are resisted. But we're going to get into the type resistances and weaknesses in a moment, but I just want to point out the fact that these stats are actually pretty decent if I'm going to be completely honest about that. Like I said, base 70 speed, not exactly the fastest, but it does have ways to mitigate its rather average base 70 speed, and it has ways of setting up its attack and special attack, and it has great ways and great utility when it comes to its defensive prowess. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and let's move on to the next section, being the typings, resistances, and weaknesses. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so for Grass and Ghost, as you're seeing right here, let's take a look at the weaknesses first, okay? Get the bad news out of the way. So, we take a look at the weaknesses. It is going to be weak to the likes of Fire, Ice, Flying, Ghost, and Dark. And in particular, Ghost and Dark aren't exactly the best types to be weak against, especially for the likes of Dark, because this does mean that you are very weak to Pursuit Trap, and this could actually spell doom for Decidueye. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is where the weaknesses and where the bad news ends. Let's take a look at the immunities. Because of its Ghost typing, it's going to have an immunity to normal and fighting type moves, which is just absolutely amazing. And then we get to the resistances. It's going to have its Grass type resistances paired with the Ghost type immunities, that being to Water, Electric, Grass, and Ground. Now, the beautiful thing about this typing here is that you normally, as a Grass type, would be weak to the likes of Bug and Poison type moves, but because of Ghost resistances, you actually don't have to worry about those moves being super effective. They are going to hit for regular damage. So, with all of that being said and out of the way, let's take a look at some sets that you can use for Decidueye. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so with this first set that we got going on here, we're going to be utilizing its only available ability known as Overgrow. Overgrow, and I forgot to mention the functionality of Overgrow in the general overview of this Pokemon's basic information. What Overgrow does is when you are in a pinch, aka if your health is below a third, then it's going to kick into Overgrow, and you're going to have a boost to the power of your grass-type moves by 50%. So this could definitely turn the tide in battle when you're facing off with Decidueye. So then we get to the item of choice. It is going to be that of Life Orb, and the reason for this, ladies and gentlemen, is because at the cost of 10% of your health, you're going to gain a respectable base 30% extra power whenever you use an attack. Now, there's a reason why this set is the way it is, which I'll be explaining in full detail. We then get to the nature. It is going to be that of Timid, because we're going to be lowering the attack and increasing the speed, basically having as much speed as possible, and we're going to be utilizing a zero attacking IV as well. And then we get to the EV spread. We're going to have 252 special attack, 252 speed, and 4 in special defense. And the first move that we got access to happens to be a tutor move, thanks to Pokemon Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, known as Giga Drain. So this Pokemon right here finally has access to a really solid special type grass type move, being Giga Drain. Now, I'm not saying that Energy Ball isn't decent. It is very decent, but the beautiful thing about Giga Drain is that while it may have a lesser base power, being base 75, half the damage you inflict is going to restore your health, which is absolutely incredible, and in my opinion, is a great way to somewhat mitigate the negative effect of Life Orb. But let's keep going here. The next move for choice, it is going to be that of Shadow Ball, which is going to be your Ghost type stab, and it is going to be hitting for really solid damage with stab and Life Orb boosting as well. And the next move, speaking of boosting, it is going to be a Nasty Plot. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. This Pokemon gets access to Nasty Plot, if you haven't already figured that out, which is going to be boosting your base 100 special attack by 2 stages, which basically means that Giga Drain is going to be hitting harder, and you're going to be getting back more of that glorious, glorious health restoration. And last but not least, if we can get the Skype graphic out of the way, we have ourselves Roost, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the reason I put Roost here is because in tandem with the Life Orb recoil, you're going to want to have a really good, reliable way to recover if Giga Drain is not doing the job. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, with the amount of natural bulk and really good typing defensively that you have, then you're going to have lots of opportunity to pull off and go for Roost. Now, this is my personal way to use this set, but feel free to change it up if you will. If you want to sub out Roost and go for something like, say, Substitute, and you want to sub out, say, Life Orb and put in something like either Citrus Berries, put in something like Leftovers, it's really up to you. But this right here is my personal take on this set right here, on how you can utilize Decidueye from a special sweeping standard. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's move on to the next set. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so for set number 2, we take a look, and obviously should go without saying, its only available ability is going to be Overgrow, and coming up next is going to be its item of choice, known as the Decidueye Z. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're using this as a full-on Z Crystal attacker, and I think you guys know where I'm going with this, but let's go ahead and let's keep on with the details here of the set. So, for the nature, we're going to be going with an Adamant nature, which means it's going to be increasing your attack and lowering your special attack. Now, you can go for Jolly if you want, but there's a reason why we're going for Adamant here, ladies and gentlemen, and that is priority. But I'm going to get into that in a moment. We get to the EV spread. It's going to be 252 attack, 252 speed, and 4 into the special defense. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the first move we got, we have ourselves Swords Dance, which is going to be boosting your physical attack by 2 stages. And with base 107 attack, fully invested with an Adamant nature, oh man, Swords Dance is going to be it's just going to be a great move to have to set up and be a threatening physical sweeper. So coming up next, we have ourselves Spirit Shackle, which in tandem with Decidueye Z is going to be turning it into its signature Z move, which is Sinister Arrow Raid. And this move right here, woo, damn almighty. It is going to be hurting a lot, especially with a Swords Dance or 2 behind and in front of its belt. Like, basically going to be everywhere that you see it, man. Like, it's not even going to matter at that point. You're going to be taking a lot of damage, whether you resist it or not. So coming up next, we have ourselves Shadow Sneak. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's that priority I am talking about. Shadow Sneak. It is going to be a stab base 40 ghost type move. going to be hitting for priority damage. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that this Pokemon does also have access to Sucker Punch, but this set is more or less to kind of showcase the fact that, hey, Shadow Sneak is very usable on this Pokemon right here. Now, also, in addition to this, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make this Pokemon relatively bulky as a physical attacker, then you can take out the speed investment and put it into the HP investment for this Pokemon to take hits a little bit better. But if you want to have as much speed as possible, then having an EV spread like this is definitely the way to go. And last but not least, we have ourselves Leaf Blade, which is going to be your obligatory grass-type stab. I almost call it water-type stab for whatever reason. What are you thinking? Anyways, Leaf Blade, it is a base 90 grass-type move, and it is also going to be hitting for critical hits sometimes, because it does have an increased critical hit ratio, which is always going to be good in a pinch. And combine that with Overgrow, and combine that with Swords Dance with Stab, Leaf Blade, in translation, is going to hurt bad. Hey, that almost kind of rhymed. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm no rapper. I'm just your average, ordinary guy that loves Pokemon. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's focus fire now on to the next set. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so coming up next for set number 3, we take a look once again at the ability. Should go without saying, it is going to be that of Overgrow, and the item for choice is going to be that of Choice Band. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be utilizing a Choice Band set here for Decidueye, and this Pokemon, in my opinion, makes a rather decent user of Choice Band. Now, it's entirely up to you on how you want to run this set, but I want to showcase you guys a really solid set right here. So, coming up next is going to be, of course, the nature is going to be Adamant, so that way you're boosting your attack even further and lowering your special attack, because you're not going to be needing it here in this situation. For the EV spread, we're going to be nearly maxing it with 248 EVs into the HP, 252 into attack, and 8 into special defense. And you guys are probably wondering, well, wait a second, why are you giving such an odd investment into the HP? Well, that is so that way you'll take an odd amount of damage whenever you are to switch into entry hazards, and you'll be able to have more switch-ins, so to speak. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the details here of the set. The first move for choice is obviously going to be Shadow Sneak, because it is going to be a great move to have in tandem with Choice Band boosting the power, with Stab and Adamant invested attack as well. Shadow Sneak is a great move to pick off weakened opponents, and not to mention, ladies and gentlemen, something I wanted to mention here in the last set where we talked about Shadow Sneak is that unlike Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak is guaranteed priority, whereas Sucker Punch, on the other hand, well, it works if your opponent's going to attack, but see, there's that 50-50 mind game, and this is where Shadow Sneak becomes more of a superior option, in my opinion, but the choice is up to you, no pun intended with, you know, the Choice Band, you know, that being the item and all that. Anyways, man, I am getting way off my game here, so coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we take a look at the next move. It is going to be that of Spirit Shackle. Now, Spirit Shackle is a base 80 type move that hits for physical damage, and not to mention, ladies and gentlemen, it also traps your opponents. They cannot switch. Their spirit has been shackled. So coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we are obviously going to be utilizing Leaf Blade, going to be your grass type stab, and coupled with Choice Band and a possible Overgrow boost, it is going to be hitting for really solid damage. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are going to be using Brave Bird. This is such a beautiful move on Decidueye, because not only is this a great move to use against fighting type Pokemon, but it's also a great move to use against the likes of grass types, against the likes of bug types, the list goes on. And with Choice Band being slapped onto a Brave Bird, man, it is just going to be hurting like hell. Now, obviously, there are other options when it comes to running this set. Considering that we are running all attacking moves, you can utilize something like Assault Vest if you want, which is going to be boosting your special defense by 50%, but of course, you cannot be using any non-attacking moves, but the choice is up to you. Hell, you can even go for something like Choice Scarf if you want. Just take out the investment in the HP and put it into the speed instead, and maybe even change it to a Jolly nature. And also another option to run here, ladies and gentlemen, would happen to be U-Turn. If you are not running Double Ghost, if you're not a fan of running Double Ghost Stab, then you can take out something like Spirit Shackle and put in something like U-Turn, so that way you're giving your team a little bit of extra momentum and the ability to scout with Decidueye while causing some pretty significant damage as well. But it's entirely up to you. You can even take out something like Brave Bird if you are not a fan of the recoil that takes place after you utilize that move, it's entirely up to you, but those right there are just a few options that I thought I'd rattle off right off the bat. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's move on to our next set. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so with this set right here, we're going to be taking more of a defensive approach with Decidueye, and with its stats and typing, it definitely is more than capable of being a really solid tank, whether you want to go physical or special, and it has the utility to back it up, baby. So with the ability, once again, should go without saying, it's going to be Overgrow, and then we take a look at the item for choice. It is going to be that of Lector, so that we have a little bit of extra recovery at the end of each turn. And coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going with a Calm Nature, which is going to be decreasing the attack and increasing the special defense. And we're also going to be running 0 attacking IVs as well. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we get to the EV spread. We're going to be running 248 EVs into the HP, 252 into the special defense, and 8 into speed. So that way you'll be able to get a speed creep and a speed jump on other uninvested base 70 speed Pokemon. So coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a look at the first move. It is going to be that of Giga Drain. Hence why the reason why we're running a Calm Nature and not, say, a Careful Nature, because we're going to be utilizing Giga Drain as not only a good move to cause damage, and especially super effective damage at that to the likes of rock, ground, and water types, but also this is just a really solid move to use if you're looking to snag a little bit of extra recovery. But obviously this isn't the only option to utilize when it comes to recovery. We got that covered here, daddy. So coming up next, we have ourselves Defog. Yes, this Pokemon getting access to Defog, man, it is absolutely sweet. I mean, this Pokemon right here, having access to Defog is going to completely ruin any hazard stacking setup, and that's just absolutely amazing. Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that Defog gets rid of all entry hazards and gets rid of all of the screens, that being Reflect and Light Screen. So if you have entry hazards set up on your opponent's side of the field, then Defog, maybe not be the best option, but overall, this is meant to be a special defensive Defog set with some really solid utility. So coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going for that Roost. So if Giga Drain isn't cutting it for you, well, Roost certainly can. It is going to be a fail-safe recovery move, unless, of course, if you get taunted, well, then if that's the case, that's when you go for Giga Drain to hope to get some really solid health recovery back. But with Roost, ladies and gentlemen, it is guaranteed to heal 50% of your maximum health, which is absolutely amazing. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going for that Toxic, because why the hell not? Toxic on a special defensive tank like Decidueye is basically a must. I mean, this Pokemon has so much crazy utility. You know, it can Defog, it can Roost, it can U-turn, it can Toxic, and do a whole bunch of things, you know what I mean? But consider that this is a special set here, and this is more of a specific set, meaning to be a Roost Toxic Defog set with Giga Drain to boot, then this right here is the moveset of choice. Now, if you want to change around the details of the set, you're more than welcome to. If you want to run something like, say, a Bold Nature and invest fully into the defense rather than special defense, you can do that. You can do the same thing from a physical standpoint, where if you wanted to run a Careful Nature, which is going to be lowering the special attack and increasing the special defense, then you can run something like Spirit Shackle and U-turn, as well as the likes of Defog, Roost, and maybe Toxic if you can fit it in somewhere. Again, for move slot syndrome, kind of sucks, but, you know, the list goes on. There's plenty of ways to make Decidueye a reliable utility tank Pokemon. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that right there is going to be concluding this video. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed the video on Decidueye for a Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon competitive guide / review. Like I said, whatever you want to call it. And if you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure you smash the like button and also be sure to subscribe with post notifications turned on. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I keep on encouraging you, and you guys do not disappoint. But please leave your sets in the comment section down below on how you would use Decidueye, and I would always love to see and hear some of these sets, because I absolutely love gimmicks. I'm just going to say that much right now. I absolutely love gimmicky sets, especially when they're in action. They're just absolutely amazing. So with that being said, thank you guys all very much for watching. Don't forget, I love each every single one of you guys, so I will see you guys in the next video. Subscribe, support, stay positive, keep it 100, and I'll see you guys next time.